Sebastian Stein is in charge of the morgue for this emergency hospital, hastily built by the charity Médecins Sans Frontières.
You see patients in the most horrible states, and you can have patients who come in one day and the next day I'm packing them in a body bag.
Another patient has just died. Sebastian must enter the isolation tent to recover the body.
You need to be covered everywhere, so you have to have no exposed skin, so that there's no chance of being in direct contact with a patient or with body fluids from a patient.
The Ebola virus doesn't travel through the air, but through contact with bodily fluids.
See, there's a tiny bit here.
Simply touching a victim can be fatal. Beyond the orange barrier are the wards holding the patients infected with the virus. The latest casualty is a 9-year-old boy. His body is still highly infectious. Sebastian's morgue register is filling up. How many times have you done that, taken a body to the morgue here?
So we'll put in number 78 now in a few minutes.
Really?
So yeah, and that's just since the first registration here is the 2nd of July, so that's exactly 1 month tomorrow. You can say around 73 deaths inside the ward since the 2nd of July. It's not a nice book. It's thick. I hope we don't need to fill the whole thing.
An ambulance brings more victims. Members of the same family. 6 probable cases have just come through to the Ebola clinic. One of them is very, very young. They barely were able to get out of the ambulance. They seem so weak. Local nurses are on the streets, warning the outbreak is worsening. Even in the Médecins Sans Frontières hospital, Ebola is killing 70% of those it infects. Because so few people who go to the hospital ever return, victims are hiding in their homes and infecting their families. Manjo Lamine works with one of the disease surveillance teams who bring in new patients. It's dangerous work and his team is overstretched.
It's not actually easy to have people who are very willing to work. So the few only ones have, more work to do.
2 weeks ago, Manjo went through a terrifying ordeal when he was quarantined with suspected Ebola. It turned out to be a false alarm and he returned to work.
If I give up, it's like I'm putting more people at risk. They will transmit the disease to a lot of people, and many people will die, will not be able to control the situation.
The surveillance team has only 4 vehicles to monitor the 500,000 people living at the centre of the outbreak. They meet up with the vehicle that's being used to transport Ebola victims.
Mama, brake! Who's that, brake?
It's a hearse.
Turn, Galogo, turn! Turn! Turn with the rope of For today, we'll call it an ambulance because we expect to put a live patient there.
They're heading to a village where Ebola has already killed an old man. Everyone they encounter, even those who look healthy, could be infectious. The team used to wear protective clothing, but the suits terrify the villagers who ran and hid, or sometimes even attacked them. Manjo now relies on keeping at least 2 meters from everyone he meets.
Mina Manjoya. Aha. Now we do na kala this sumaya na do BHU do name Aisata.
The surveillance team are talking to this young girl over here to see if she is showing signs of the Ebola virus. She's clearly in distress, and we know that her father-in-law has already died of Ebola. Kadiatu Jusu is 25 years old, the mother of 4 children.
You get fever, your body warm. You get vomiting. In the toilet, you say.
Her husband Fala is a farmer. He's 35. It was his father who died 2 weeks ago.
You understand? Na Kailang. Then they go doing.
Aisheta Kante can see Kadiatu is almost certainly infected.
She actually fits into the case definition because she was the one taking care of the old man, feeding him, cleaning where the old man was vomiting, and there was direct physical contact.
So I can spray that place, yeah?
Manjo disinfects Kadiatu's home with chlorine. Anything she's touched could be contaminated. Aisheta notes the names of everyone who's been in close contact with her. Her children and husband are at the top of the list.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. Only 17 people here, so anyone we begin get fever or they cough or they feel like say get malaria and body they act, they vomit, they go toilet. Anyone padency, una for call. They are all like at risk. We need to monitor them for the next 21 days.
My father passed away. She too is going with the same thing that is.
Fala can't risk touching his wife to say goodbye.
I just feel sorry because people are dying. Let him come and take, because she has vomited, she said.
Excuse-moi, my lord.
The team at the hospital quickly begin to treat Kadiatu. Although there are no proven cures for Ebola, sometimes the body can fight it off, especially if the victim can stay hydrated. A Canadian doctor, Tim Jagatic, passes anti-nausea drugs into the isolation ward.
So we just gave her medication to prevent the vomiting and the ORS solution just to rehydrate her because she's losing a lot of fluid and electrolytes.
What sort of life will Kadiatu have here?
She's here to rest and to allow her immune system to hopefully find the disease, fight it off, create the antibodies, kill off the virus. And we're just trying to clear the path for the immune system to get to that point.
The van is disinfected, ready to pick up the next Ebola case on Manjo's list.
This is another problem because one doctor was treating the patient as typhoid.
The MSF emergency coordinator, Anya Wulz, says the Sierra Leone government and the international community were too slow to react.
Okay. I always think about my first day. One guy came to me and told me, like, my brother died, my sister died, my wife died, my child died. Nobody came to disinfect the houses, and I got 3 body bags for 4 people. but I don't know how to use it. And I was thinking, oh shit, we are too late.
An ambulance arrives, bringing a woman and her young child.
They've just taken out a very, very small child. The child doesn't seem to be wearing any clothes and it seems to be shivering. I can't tell if it's a boy or girl from here.
The child's mother has died on the journey.
This is just an absolutely desperate situation.
As the mother's body is carried to the morgue, her child cries out. Her name is Fatmata. She's 7 years old. Her grandmother died of Ebola at home. As is often customary in Sierra Leone, Fatmata touched her body at the funeral. Sebastian has just been inside the wards to retrieve another body. He saw Fatmata.
Another patient passed away on the floor right next to this poor little girl. So she's gone through a lot now. We come in dressed up like spacemen, and we can try and say nice things, but the fright and the terror of being alone as a child in a hospital, especially in these circumstances, is just it's too much for any small child.
Later that day, Fatmata died. Nearby, Kadiatu's symptoms are growing worse. And now the hearse that doubles as an ambulance has arrived with another case from her village. It's her husband, Fala.
Human being sick, yes, then go for an injection.
So you say what you feel?
Yes. Not cough.
Cough everything.
Yes. Headache bag.
Everything back.
Yes. And they feel this in bag here.
Back?
Yes.
He's left their 4 children in the village and now joins his wife in the isolation ward. We join Manjo to talk to the couple. The fence keeps us 2 meters apart.
Hello. Kadiatu. How you feel now? A better small, eh? Past yesterday. I see the laugh. Hey, follow Jisu. When I get a message, I will go tell the people they under.
Let them pray God for me.
God will take care and we say we will try. Yeah?
Nanya gigwala nyali nyane gwala. Ifa nyali gena saloma.
Believe say God will help them. And not follow the same thing.
You found this body in the center of town?
Yes.
In Kailahun?
Yes. That doctor.
The body of a dead girl has just been brought to the field hospital.
You came here and you spoke to the doctor. Yes, but before.
They never call the doctor. Would I call the doctor for let the doctor go check the sick?
Nobody knows who she is.
Just hold on and I'll just try to figure out what's happened, okay? Okay, perfect. This guy cannot explain properly where the body is coming from.
There's a body in there.
Yeah, it's a pediatric body bag in there, so.
Each new victim has potentially infected more people. If they can't be traced, then the virus will continue to spread.
We'll put the body in our mortuary here over the night until we can figure out who this is and why this body was brought like this. So if you can spray the bag, and then we'll take it out and we'll put it in another bag.
I do not know how you do that.
You have to just look at it as a job. It's,
Unrest is spreading. In nearby Kenema, rumours about the virus have brought people onto the streets. A story is going round that Ebola is a hoax, devised by doctors to steal people's blood.
There's a huge crowd gathered here. They are angry. They're shouting, they're saying Ebola does not exist, Ebola is a lie, and they're throwing rocks at the gate of the hospital.
The rioters are trying to free the patients inside.
They say this Ebola, now lie, not to Ebola. Now blood people they want. That's what it's saying.
The police use tear gas and fire live bullets to disperse the rioters. But the rumours that Ebola is a hoax mean that more victims hide in their homes, infecting their families and neighbours. We return to the field hospital. It's Kadiatu's 6th night in isolation. She's still very sick, but she's more worried about her husband, Fala.
If you grab no more, they go for them. Me you are the grab now. At Nasumo, Waka.
Kadiatu's heading off to bed. She seems really, really weak. Talking seemed like a big effort. She was nearly whispering and every sentence was a huge effort. She also said she's really missing her children.
Fala's battle with the virus is reaching a critical phase. With both Fala and Kadiatu in the hospital, Manjo returns to their village to check on their 4 sons.
Where Fala in Pekin? Sasko. Let them come.
To everyone's relief, they're healthy, but they're missing their mum and dad.
Anybody's not sick, you know so?
They record a get well message.
Mama and Papa know how they feel. What make you they feel bad?
But
Because away. I do not actually feel fine. They need care. I just hope their parents get well soon to join them.
We return to the hospital with Manjo and the children's message. Against the odds, Kadiatu is feeling better.
Fala is back. Oh my God.
Fala has been vomiting blood, but he wants to see the message from his children.
How you dey feel?
Mama and Papa.
I lost water. You lost water? The fella is much more sick than Kadia too. Anything she eats, he vomits.
Fala is in a really, really bad way. It was only this day last week that we were in his village when he was saying goodbye to his wife. And now he's completely deteriorated. I'm devastated to see Fala like that.
The bodies of the dead are taken to a clearing behind the hospital.
It's really horrible, right? You're just walking, trying not to step on the graves, trying to show some respect, but at the same time it's so unceremonial. This is going to continue to grow, I'm afraid.
I lost my brothers, I lost my sisters, I lost my best friends.
The gravediggers are volunteers.
How many family members have you lost?
2.
And you?
My mother, my son, and my father.
Likewise myself, because he's my elder brother. 5.
4 good people. 4 good people.
The death rate from Ebola is rising fast. The World Health Organization is warning the number of cases will soon pass 20,000, and that ultimately the virus may never be fully contained.
Thanks for watching this classic Unreported World episode. Click the logo to subscribe for more award-winning documentaries from the Unreported World team. We upload videos every Sunday, keeping you up to date with content from all over the world.